Okay, good morning, everyone. We're just letting in the last few of the participants for today. I'm John Beveridge. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the chair of the Working Toward Wellness Committee, also Occupational Health and Safety Coordinator at Windsor Regional Hospital. So I will be the master of ceremony for today's event. A bit of housekeeping before we get underway. Please ensure your microphone is muted for the duration of the event. And if necessary, check your volume, adjust it to an optimum level. This session is being recorded. So, and we'll make it available in the coming days following the event. So if you prefer not to appear, then you can choose to keep your video setting to off, okay? For the recipients of the awards that we will be acknowledging, certificates and we also have digital decals will be sent out likely within a week or two of the event. We'll try to get to that without too much delay, okay? So before we proceed with today's agenda, I would like to introduce Corinthia Natashak, who will read for us the land acknowledgement.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, John. I acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is comprised of the traditional territories of the Three Fires Confederacy, made up of the Ojibwe, Odawa, and the Potawatomi nations, and the ancestral and unceded territory and waters of Caldwell First Nation, whose people are the original people of Pelee Island and Point Pelee. The Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations agreed to share this territory with the British Crown by way of the 1790 treaty, referred to as the McKee Purchase or Treaty of Detroit. This territory is the home of the Anishinaabe, who are represented by the Walpole Island First Nation, and the Lenape, who are represented by the Delaware Nation. I and the Working Toward Wellness Committee recognize the historical and present impacts of colonial violence on the Indigenous peoples of Canada. I identify as a settler on this land, and I acknowledge my commitment to the calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada. We are privileged to gather here today on these lands and affirm a commitment to continue to learn from Indigenous knowledges and practices.
Okay. Thank you very much, Corinthia. Today's agenda will feature a presentation from our keynote speaker, Laura Parent of Evolve. We will entertain questions at the end of the presentation. So if you would kindly just place them in the chat, and we will then moderate them after. This will be followed by, of course, by the acknowledgement of this year's award recipients. So just before we get to that, a little bit about this committee. The Working Toward Wellness Committee was established in 2002 to promote and support workplace wellness efforts in Windsor and Essex County by providing input into the planning, development, implementation, and evaluation of comprehensive workplace wellness programs. Gord Smith was instrumental in these efforts and has thus been recognized with his namesake on the Healthy Workplace Awards. The mission of this committee: to establish relationships with Windsor-Essex County workplaces by providing a forum for education, knowledge exchange, and resources to build local capacity for workplace wellness initiatives. The vision: to encourage, support, and recognize local employers working towards creating work environments that promote positive health and well-being in their employees and families, while incorporating an anti-oppressive and inclusivity framework. The committee, which many of you are probably aware, also organizes and hosts the Healthy at Work webinar series. We typically do them quarterly. And also the committee is promotes wellness initiatives in the community. It is a partnership of members representing multiple sectors and organizations across Windsor and Essex County, including Debbie Croucher, Downtown Windsor BIA, Jeff McEwen, St. Clair College, who will moderate the questions from the keynote presentation. So thank you, Jeff. Mark Parent and Melissa Statham, OCAL, Occupational Health Clinics for Ontario Workers. Sonia Skillings, Green Shield Canada. Lauren Bodwin, Reko International Group. Renew Khosla, Greater Essex County District School Board's Joint Employee Assistance Program. Beth Ann Turnevin, Family Services, Windsor, Essex, and Family Services EAP. Audrey Miotis, Essex County Library. Corinthia Natashak, who you heard from earlier, Home and Community Care Support Services. Sarah Topic, Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare. Debbie Newcomb, Erie Shores Healthcare. Myself, John Beveridge, Windsor Regional Hospital. Kim Willis, Katie Guzmet, Carrie Davis, and Abby Lee Hallett, who's helping us with our technical work today. So thank you very much from Canadian Mental Health Association, Windsor-Essex County Branch. Courtney Williston, Windsor-Essex County Health Unit, and Sarah Fram, Workforce, Windsor-Essex. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of these committee members who have donated their valuable time and energy to make this important work possible. We were very pleased to welcome a few new members to the committee during this past year. If any of you are interested in having a seat at the table, being part of this committee, you can reach out to myself or another committee member for further information. So on the slide in the lower left is contact information. There's a couple of email addresses there and a phone number. Just reach out and we'll help you do that. Okay. So it is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today's event, healthy lifestyle enthusiast Laura Parent. As the founder and creator of Evolve, a local nonprofit organization that promotes healthy living and a synergy between mental and physical well-being, Laura is also an IFA certified personal trainer, fitness coach, who focuses on the full spectrum of wellness, connecting mind and body, and is currently pursuing certification as a trauma support specialist. Laura is passionate about creating wellness in the world, starting within our own community. The idea of Evolve came to her when she was traveling in Mexico, which we'll hear about, during the pandemic. She craved connection and wondered how she could create change and have a healthier impact in her community. So as I stated earlier, please, any questions you may have, put them in the chat box and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. So thank you, Laura, so much for being with us today. The floor is now yours.
All right. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, John and Corinthia, for setting this up today and having me here this morning. And thank you to all of you for taking the time to listen to me, get to know me, and hopefully leave here a little bit more inspired. So let's begin. Hi, my name is Laura Parent, and I'm your keynote speaker today. I am a mental health advocate. I am an IFA certified fitness coach and group fitness instructor. I am a hospitality worker. I am the founder of the mental health and wellness nonprofit organization here in Windsor, Evolve. And I think when we introduce ourselves, we've been accustomed to say, hello, my name is Laura and I do this, blank, insert job title. Hi, my name is Matt and I'm a lawyer. Hi, my name is Julie and I'm a teacher. That's not all that I am, and that's not all that you are. There is so much more to who you are than your job title. So as I introduce myself today, I am all of these things. I am proud to be all of these things. but I'm also proud and want to include that I'm someone's daughter, I'm a partner, and I'm a friend. And I'm going to keep trying to keep that level of energy today throughout my speech, and hopefully open your hearts and minds to begin to introduce yourselves in a different format. So I was born and raised here in Windsor. I grew up in East Riverside and Tecumseh. I grew up as an athlete. I was always involved in everything. My poor parents, I wanted to play and do everything. I wanted to do dance and play soccer and volleyball, do track and field. I was on the leadership team and community throughout my high school years. And I think those patterns of loving people and community traveled throughout my young adolescence. I knew around the age when you're graduating high school, I went on to play St. Clair soccer and still lost and still unsure of what to do next. I didn't have this set out desire to become something right away. I love when people are young and have it almost designed for them of what they want to do. When kids or teens know what they want to be at a young age. I want to become a nurse. I want to become an electrician or run their family's companies just like their generations did before them. Maybe this resonates with you. I didn't have that initial desire. I didn't know what I wanted to do at 18. Maybe this resonates with you. I did take part in a college experience, but I wasn't sure it was for me. I had to keep searching. What's next? I decided to venture out to California for about 8 weeks to figure out what to do. During that trip, it led me to decide to research on how to become a flight attendant. I found this new love of travel, and it's kind of funny because I was always decent at school. I was always very involved, but I don't think I can honestly say I was paying attention to anything that was going on during class. And I think that's important to say now as adults, because are we paying attention? Do we love what we're doing? I found that as soon as I entered this flight attendant program, that I was really paying attention. This interested me. I was doing really well. I was at the top of my class. I got a career becoming a flight attendant. I wanted it, I paid attention, and I worked for it. So it's funny the difference you see in my first year of college. I remember sitting in chemistry class, not paying attention, not doing well, because I truly didn't want to be there. I wasn't 100% on becoming a nurse, so it didn't work for me. You have to find what works for you. I became a flight attendant while I was traveling Toronto and saw that I was really excited about this industry of travel and constantly living at the edge of my seat. I was a natural leader and ended up getting a promotion to transfer to Vancouver and becoming a flight attendant safety manager within my first year of the career. If any of you have ever been lucky enough to see the other side of the country, in beautiful British Columbia, you'll understand the energy shift one may feel when being connected somewhere that the oceans and the mountains become your backyard. I knew not one single soul when I moved out to Vancouver. Not one. No family, no distant cousin, nothing. I was extremely uncomfortable starting something new. Starting a new career is one thing. Starting it across the country, away from your people, your routine, your safe place, so many layers of uncomfortable. But I wouldn't have changed a thing. These shifts happen in our lives. These waves of uncomfortable are exactly the pushes that we need. Because I knew no one, I was starting from scratch. You have to relearn what you like. I lived across the street from this yoga studio and thought, well, I've always loved anything health and fitness, so why not tap into this yogi West Coast lifestyle? After a few months of becoming a regular, making some like-minded friends, I actually started a part-time job there at the yoga studio, and then again was a natural leader, being transferred to another location, and eventually even becoming an operations manager. It's kind of cool to see this pattern that once again, when you love something and you're interested, you're paying attention, and you want to succeed, your energy is naturally going to flow and thrive in that environment. Okay, so now you have this idea of me, who I am. You're probably beginning to understand that I have a little bit of a gypsy wandering, independent soul, healthy, but constantly trying to take on something new. Then this whispering, mask wearing, toilet paper chasing, terrifying circumstance came into play, COVID-19. And as a flight attendant, your job was on the line. This industry was being shut down, restricted, and we didn't know how to navigate that. As others became cautious, I stayed up until I was forced to be laid off. And then gym closures happened, and I was also laid off from the yoga studio. And then as a part-time hospitality worker, another layoff. Restaurants are closed, takeout only. There was a lot of closed doors, one after another after another. I should be so grateful. When I wake up, I look out to see the ocean, the mountains, the beach. But I was feeling so very disconnected, very isolated, scared, mentally weak. I thrived off community, teaching, leading, coaching, being physically active. All of these doors were closed on me. So as these doors stayed shut, I learned that Mexico was staying open to travelers. I know. I am one of those crazy people who traveled outside of my country during a global pandemic, but I am still here. And I'll tell you what, you're steps closer to finding that it's because I went to Mexico that I actually believe I'm speaking to you today. I booked this one-way flight to Mexico, not sure of what's next. And I'm sure some of you went through something similar during this pandemic. Maybe you had security and you were able to stay safe. Maybe a door closed that led you to where you are now. I think a lot of us can agree on something that the pandemic gave us, the value of time. We have to be better about how we spend our time, who we spend our time with, that we aren't just wanting to work and survive. I know that's easier said than done. We have people and finances and families and children to support, but I hope you give a little bit of that time back to yourself, a reminder to fuel what you love to do. Give and lean into more time to appreciate the things that you love and what makes you happy. It was through this time in Mexico that I gave this time back to myself. I was trying to figure out what I wanted out of life, what was next for me. If the pandemic took away these careers that I loved, what did I have to go back to? What would life look like if I moved back to my hometown? That's when I started journaling about my nonprofit, Evolve. I wanted to create a space, a community that was safe and was able to continue to navigate healthy and safe conversations surrounding mental health. COVID taught us that how we really need to tune into taking care of our overall health, all aspects, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. How are we showing up in the world when the world shuts down? So the gray area of the pandemic, when we were sort of allowed to go places, but sort of not, this is when my transition back to Windsor from Mexico happened. I can say one thing that saved me during this gray area was running. I'm not sure if anyone else fell into this pandemic healthy habit, no shame. We were all cut short of anything physical activity, but running outside seemed to be allowed and you saw a lot more of it. I entered into Lululemon's virtual half marathon. Those gray days became a bit brighter because I had something to look forward to, new running goals to accomplish this overall mission. When marathon days happen, it's usually this huge crowd, big excitement, everyone's been waiting for, medals, awards. Well, like today, when it's virtual, you go when you're ready. No time frame, just a bigger mental push to get out of the house. I planned my virtual marathon on a specific day and time, so I couldn't back out. Lucky me, I decided to book it the day of a thunderstorm. Yes, I still went. Puddles beneath my feet, my mom and boyfriend under an umbrella cheering me on. I have completed a half marathon, and the pandemic gave me that win. To give you a visualization, a half marathon is running from Hiram Walker's to the Ambassador Bridge and back twice. It's not that bad. I'm going to use this analogy of a pair of pants. Stay with me. So when I was coming back to Windsor after all this time away, all these life experiences, I come home and I try to fit into these pants. Now, in theory, they physically still fit. I have not changed, but something isn't quite right. Mentally and emotionally, these same pair of pants, they seem to fit differently. And then I realized it wasn't the pants, it was me. It wasn't Windsor, it was me. I wasn't ready to put on these pants back yet. I wasn't ready to be back in Windsor just yet. COVID took a lot of my young travel years, and I wasn't ready to give that up. I then found this industry called the yachting industry. Yes, exactly like the TV show Below Deck. What a fun opportunity. I met a few people in Mexico that were yachties and actually inspired me to lean into that job field because of my personality, my background experience, flight attending and hospitality, that I would do really well. And on paper, they were so right. In real life, after working on 3 different super yachts around the world, they were so wrong. And I don't want to take away from this career. I just wanted to be completely transparent on my experience and how much of a negative workspace and toxic environment had on my mental and physical health. I was making amazing money. You're being tipped by billionaires. It's crazy. But when I say I worked on a super yacht in the Bahamas, I don't mean I was putting my feet up with a pina colada in hand. I was making the pina colada, scrubbing inch after inch of 80 meters on a sparkling yacht, on my feet for 15 to 17 hours a day, living, breathing, sleeping, eating next to the same 8 to 10 crew members for 3 months at a time. It just wasn't for me. Sometimes you need to lean into those gut feelings. I missed my family, my relationship, my friends, my healthy routine. I couldn't believe once upon a time such a simple routine. It seemed so boring. Waking up, making a coffee, walk the dog, the simplest things, the simplest joys is what you end up missing the most. Do you ever go on vacation and you're so excited to go away, and then near the end, you're kind of tired and you're like, I can't wait to be in my bed, my coffee mug. See, it's simple. All of these simples we take for granted. My body eventually started telling me it was time to go. My internal battery was running on low, and as much as I wanted to stay in this industry for the money, at what cost? My physical health, my mental health, it began to jeopardize who I was. I'll end this chapter on yachting on a lighter note, because I think this industry can be very rewarding for the right person. Getting to see the world, living aboard, saving money, connecting with other people from around the globe, and maybe becoming a captain one day. It again just has to be what is working for you. As soon as I came home, my physical health restored, my mental health restored, my relationships were healing, my family and friends were healthy lights back into my life. I was finally putting energy and fuel into evolve. I put all my love, faith, and began to lean into more projects that would help build and heal our communities surrounding mental health. This started with more events. We initially launched a 5K in January when we first became public as a nonprofit. This raised $1,300 locally just by social media and word of mouth. We realized that even though absolutely freezing at the end of January, that people still love to connect and come together for an important cause. We did another event as such called the 5K and a rosé. I connected with the winery that I worked with, again, put together social media and word of mouth, and raised more funds that could circulate back into Windsor for mental health resources. This was as simple as finding people that love to run or walk, people that love to drink wine, people that love to support local, people that love to support mental health, people that love people, connection. So I love that I was able to create this community and it kept evolving and I wanted to keep creating. I stopped playing it safe and I really went for it. I booked our first gala at St. Clair Center of the Arts. I am no party planner. I am not a wedding or event coordinator by any means, but I am good at connecting with the right people. I believe deep enough in Evolve's mission that Windsor itself is able to heal its own community, support what's really important to us, because at the end of the day, we all have someone that this affects, and maybe it's our own self. Evolve's first annual mental health charity gala raised over $11,000 in its first year. We had over $14,000 in local sponsorship, over $9,000 in locally donated raffle prizes, over 240 attendees be part of the special evening learning and raising awareness. We had legendary local guest speakers that really touched everyone's hearts. We evolved that night. And now we have a foundation that can really take off into bigger projects for the 2023 year. I did that. I created that. Mind you, I had so much help. I learned to always say yes to help. I journaled Evolve while traveling Mexico. I would have never went to Mexico if it wasn't for the pandemic. I would have never felt the desire to create this community if I myself didn't go through the hardest parts, the inside work that pandemic pushed us to do. I would have never created Evolve, be where I am today, sitting here with you, if I didn't lead with my heart through every chapter. It's 2022. I love openly talking about mental health. I try to create an open space for anyone that is needing a listening ear. I try to educate myself on local resources so that I can outsource that information to anyone that's seeking assistance. There was a time when I was living in BC before the pandemic that I reached out for therapeutic help to overcome a traumatic situation. I was on a wait list for a year and 8 months before I was contacted. I couldn't help but laugh when I was emailed to book an appointment because, well, almost 2 years went by and I survived throughout my time. I moved on. Not everyone's going to have that same outcome. And I still need to recover from that trauma years later because it was initially never done in the first place. Therapy is not cheap. Therapy is not accessible as we'd like it to be. I wish it was. I think healthcare is on its way to understanding that humans should also be receiving mental health care just as we do for when we have a broken bone or a seasonal flu. I am proud to have partnered with my best friend, Bianca Stefina, with Evolve, who is a certified trauma therapist here in Windsor, to help me navigate, educate, and understand what we need to heal in our community. Not everyone needs that one-on-one therapy. Sometimes all we need is community. I think I got through that year and 8 months without it because I created my own therapy circle. That was with F45 in Vancouver. I found a morning group of people like-minded that enjoyed getting up and starting their day with a sweat. I didn't always love waking up at 6 a.m., pushing my body to the limits, but I know I needed those 5 minutes of conversation before class, laughs, smiles, and high fives during that class to get me through the rest of my day. Those smiles and laughs with strangers that I sweat next to eventually became my friends. This became my therapy. I found myself naturally gravitating towards F45s, whether it was on the West Coast, back home in Windsor, or even while living in Florida trying to work on a yacht. I always found myself getting to an F45 class because people that were like-minded were there too. I know I wasn't the only one showing up just because it was a good workout. I invite you to find your therapy. I invite you to connect with your community. I don't just mean your F45 community. I mean your friends, your circle, your family, your neighborhood, your coworkers, your boss, people above, under, or sitting in the cubicle next to you. Check on each other, invite them, get to know each other on a deeper level. I'll give you an example of something that could be right underneath your nose and might inspire you to do just that. When I was working at the yoga studio, I made my own schedule. I was my own boss. Mondays, I always tried to get out of there early, meaning I never connected with the girl that worked the night shift. I knew her name was Liz, but I never really worked with her, maybe in passing. It took 1.5 years for us to connect in more of a passing conversation for us to realize we had a lot in common. We really vibed. She invited me to volleyball. I became part of another community. I met more like-minded people that enjoyed doing something that I also loved. We also lived near one another, so we went for more walks and eventually became best friends. Years later, I think of Liz as a little sister to me. She is very special. She attended my gala all the way from BC, and I continue to connect with her and inspire each other each week from across the country. This happened because I gave a touch more attention one day to someone that worked right next to me. I challenge you today to break through an uncomfortable layer. I challenge you to change even 1% of your day. No more waking up, going to work, coming home, putting on Netflix, rinse, repeat. I challenge you to introduce yourself more than just your name and job title. And I challenge you to ask more questions than someone's name and job title. I bet you can find more meaning and connection throughout a conversation. I challenge you to check in on the people you work with. I invite you to connect further. I challenge you to evolve. Thank you for your time today. I hope any of my story inspires you to take care of your mental health and wellness each and every day. And I think now if anybody has questions, we have time for that.
I'm not seeing any questions yet, but a lot of people are very grateful.
I'm also grateful to be here. Fun fact, me and Corinthia went to Muskoka together when we were in high school.
You always come back.
Always circles back. Windsor special.
Laura, thank you so much. I do have something that really connected with me earlier in your presentation. And hopefully you can repeat it for me and the group. It went all along the lines of, I thrive off community, coaching, teaching, and something. I think that's so powerful. Can you just repeat what you said for the group, please?
Of course. Let me find it so I make sure I say it right. I thrived off community, teaching, leading, coaching, and being physically active. So all those doors were closed during the pandemic.
It's so wonderful that you were able to reconnect with all that. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, that was great. I'm disappointed you're done. I could hear more of that, but I mean, I found myself drawn right in. We all lived so much of that, and maybe, you know, our individual stories are not, you know, quite the same, but along a similar path, many of us, right? So that was yeah, comforting as well.
Of course, I just kind of invite everybody to do their own reflection, maybe just in 2020 to now, and see how far you've grown. And maybe thinking back, it might not look that different, but look through your photos, look through journal entries, and like see how far you've actually come through it. When I was reflecting in the past couple of years, I was like, oh my God, like life has really changed. And it might not seem like it because we're still recovering from the pandemic, but you probably have evolved just as an internal person a lot more than you think. And it's really cool to reflect on.
Great. So just a last few comments are coming in. Very well received, and thank you. Abby, if you don't mind, could you please put the slide up with the contact information? I mean, we will be recording and making the presentation available, but just if anyone wants to reach out and connect with Laura, then we can do that.
For 1 minute. All right, here we go.
There, perfect.
There we go. Laura, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a kind of a high level of if anyone were to reach out for you, you know, what kinds of services and things that you might be able to offer, assist with.
Yeah, for sure. If you head to our website, you can kind of see a little bit more overview of who I am and who my partner Bianca is, and some workshops that we do. We do provide a give back yoga therapy every month. So if you follow us on Instagram, you can come check out a free community of yogis, whether you're a first-time yoga or it's your 100th class. It's a really cool community we have there. We're going to do some give backs with F45. And then we're going to try to create an evolved day within the schools and in workplace. So we're in the process of building that workshop. Lots of things coming in 2023. So follow us on Instagram and kind of stay tuned on the website. And if you guys ever wanted to have an Evolve workshop at your workplace or anything that in your community that you think would help, we would love to be part of it. All the funds that are raised with Evolve circulate back into mental health resources in Windsor. So we would be honored to be part of it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, if there are any further questions, we can see there's just a few more comments coming in, but I think at this point we will now proceed with the acknowledgements presentation of the 2022 Gord Smith Healthy Workplace Awards. So it's been an interesting road. My personal involvement with this committee and process over the last, I guess, half dozen years. The awards themselves, there are elements about the awards that have remained constant from its origins, in fact, but also too, just on the heels of Laura's presentation and the points about, you know, us living through the pandemic situation, and really not really completely through, but we were emerging. Safe to say we're emerging from the pandemic situation. A lot of things changed, and a lot of things changed for this committee and for the awards and the awards process itself. But this version, the 2022 version, so the criteria that would have had applicants focus on their activities from this year and really going back toward the end of 2021, because the cycle was kind of slightly staggered or offset, you know, not necessarily a full calendar year. But it truly, this version of the awards is representative of the ongoing strategies and approaches that local workplaces have adopted, you know, just to try and better align with today's expectations. The previous 2020 and 2021 awards were certainly reflective of the pandemic situation, and really focused almost entirely on those activities. So, as I said, as we're emerging now, we decided that we would expand or include flexibility in this year's awards process and allow for, you know, kind of a return to a broader range of topics available. But certainly infection prevention and control has remained, for us hospital folks, has remained paramount. And many things have not changed for us as they have changed in the community. So it's very much an important part of you know, many sectors, many businesses to continue with those efforts. So as we are looking forward, as I said, hoping to emerge from the pandemic, we're still trying to focus on, you know, the health, safety, and mental well-being of our employees, everyone associated with our businesses, families, the broader community. So thank you everyone for joining us today as we recognize the efforts and achievements of this year's awards recipients. So, Anna, Bulimia, Anorexia, Nervosa Association, a recipient of the Gold Level Award. In an effort to spread mental health awareness and enhance the often misunderstood and specialized area of eating disorders, the Bulimia, Anorexia, Nervosa Association publishes the Banna Be Yourself magazine. It's a quarterly publication each year. Since its beginning in 2020, the publication has served as a vehicle for clinicians, educators, and those across the mental health field to reach the community and beyond, with a variety of resources for wellness, awareness, and support. BANA staff are encouraged to submit articles for inclusion in the magazine to enhance their own learning. This gives staff an outlet for exploring areas of passion within the field and to enhance their own learning. The magazine is just one of BANA's multiple ways to spread mental health awareness. BANA also completes awareness through daily posts on social media channels with messaging related to promoting positive mental health, the Be Kind mental health resource website, as well as presenting approximately 200 health promotion educational sessions a year on eating disorders, body image, and self-esteem. Congratulations. Canadian Mental Health Association, Windsor-Essex County branch is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. There were 5 levels of award this year in an effort to somewhat simplify some of the application while expanding the scope. So there was, we had our Rising Star category that was introduced in 2019 for newer applicants. As it would be this year, there weren't any in that category, but in each of the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, there were recipients. CMHA holds an annual campaign to bring awareness to mental health and suicide every September. This year, the agency gathered a large network of community partners to plan, organize, and celebrate the 7th anniversary of their suicide awareness campaign. Many events occurred throughout the month of September, as depicted. We had the Smile Cookie, we had the Run, the Walk, and we had the Soul Focus Project. This year, the walk was offered in 2-kilometer and 5-kilometer options. They both make me feel tired just thinking about it. Allowing participants to get active while recognizing an important cause. Everyone is welcome. It's always free of charge with no mandatory fundraising requirements and is pet friendly. Participants walk in memory of loved ones who were lost to suicide, to support someone who is tackling mental health issues and to break the stigma surrounding mental health and suicide. Each day, an average of 10 Canadians take their own lives, and suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death for people under 25. Between 2012 and 2021, in Windsor-Essex alone, 770 people died by suicide, with a notable increase or spike in 2021. The agency is grateful to bring people together as a community in support of those that have been affected by suicide and to show individuals that they are not alone. Congratulations. Connections Early Years Family Center is a recipient of the Silver Level Award. Connections is a nonprofit agency that offers a variety of free services to support the healthy development of families with children between 0 and 6 years old in Windsor-Essex County. Connections Early Years Family Center understands that great service begins with healthy and happy employees, and their wellness is a priority for the organization. Connections is committed to supporting the mental and physical health of their employees, providing support and resources, up-to-date infection prevention and control strategies, paid sick time, reducing workplace stress, and providing support to engage in healthy activities, including healthy eating. Connections surrounds their employees with support and healthy processes to assist them to achieve their personal and professional goals. Congratulations. Green Shield Canada is a recipient of the Gold Level Award. GSC's culture promotes mental well-being as a priority, and we strive to embed this in all we do. We have developed a mental well-being strategy, and our future roadmap will focus on optimizing and expanding mental well-being conversations and resources at GSC by leaning on our corporate values and strong leadership. GSC officially launched our GSCer Wellbeing Hub in April of 22. The GSCer Wellbeing Hub is an interactive tool designed to help GSCers identify and access the proper mental well-being supports and programs available to them and their families. Using vehicles like the Wellbeing Hub, GSC leaders will create awareness about the support and programs available to the staff. Because, like maintaining a garden, our mental health well-being needs ongoing nurturing. Congratulations. Habitat for Humanity is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. Infection, pandemic prevention and control, obviously a very important aspect of that many of us have had to pay very careful attention to and effort. Habitat was committed from the outset of the pandemic to ensure that the health of the staff, volunteers, and our community was the first priority. At the stage of initial pandemic lockdown, directors chose to reset vacation time for all staff to ensure that staff felt supported during this unprecedented event. While staff wages were protected through the vacation time, it allowed directors to make informed decisions that resulted in no layoffs of staff. Those who could work from home did. Operations to the public shuttered, and Habitat chose to find projects, tasks, community service that kept all staff able to work during this time employed during the pandemic. Outreach in the community included sewing thousands of masks distributed free of charge when PPE was in short supply, as well as grocery delivery to community members. Virtual programs kept volunteers engaged. Wellness calls were performed during the strict lockdown to ensure the safety and wellness of the team. Mandatory masking was in place before mandated, as was the case for many of us. Once vaccinations were made available, a mandatory vaccination was adopted. Last, to ensure staff did not work while ill, an additional and permanent personal day was added for each staff member when required to be home for 5 days when infected with COVID. They could do so with pay. Congratulations. So we're already hearing there was some wonderful work and things that were celebrated on these applications, and it always is a pleasure to review them. Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare believes that organizational health, physical environment, and individual health and lifestyle are important factors affecting the ability of all to contribute fully and positively to society. Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare is committed to creating a culture of trust, respect, and a healthy workplace, allocating time and resources to ensure the success of our employees in leading healthy, well-balanced lives. In addition, Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare is committed to providing a safe and healthy work environment for its employees. We will provide and maintain a work environment that meets or exceeds acceptable industry standards and compliance with legislative requirements. As an employer, Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare is ultimately responsible for worker health and safety. Hotel-Dieu Grace Healthcare is committed to preventing occupational injury and illness in the workplace. The CEO takes responsibility for establishing and maintaining an environment that is safe for all employees and will take every precaution reasonable in the circumstances to protect workers from harm. Supervisors are responsible to ensure that safe and healthy working conditions are maintained in their respective work areas. Supervisors are also responsible to ensure that equipment and devices are safe and that workers follow established safe work practices and procedures, which includes receiving adequate training in their specific work tasks to protect their health and safety. Congratulations. The Municipality of Lakeshore is a recipient of the Gold Level Award. And also depicted on the slide is the emblem or logo for their internal workplace improvement team. The Municipality of Lakeshore is committed to the health and wellness of our staff. This past year, Lakeshore created a workplace improvement team as part of its culture strategy initiative. This team was tasked with developing and refining Lakeshore's vision for a new culture, creating a plan to achieve it, and driving the implementation of the new culture. One initiative that came from the workplace improvement team was the launch of the Bright Ideas campaign. This campaign allows employees to use the use of a platform to spark a positive change within the municipality. Submissions can be made online or anonymously, and all submissions are reviewed for consideration. Ideas on any topic are welcome and may include suggestions on social committee events, wellness initiatives, culture improvement initiatives, and safety proposals. From process improvements that help get work done faster to new ideas to connect our team members, we want to hear it. The platform encourages employees to be vocal about the workplace and ideas that spark positive change, which will promote Lakeshore as an employer of choice. Frequent communication and feedback from staff are critical to ensuring success of this initiative. Congratulations. Reko International Group, Inc. is a recipient of the Bronze Level Award. At Reko International, the safety and well-being of all employees is of utmost importance. We are committed to providing programs to our employees that can add value to their daily lives. From paid Reko Wellness Days to 100% employer-paid group benefits, including a healthcare spending account, a new employee and family assistance program, and a healthy work-life balance, to name a few, we take pride in our employees. Reko strives to inspire, educate, and maintain a healthy workplace culture and environment that supports each employee's health and wellness journey. Congratulations. St. Clair College is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. St. Clair College strives to provide a work environment that encourages healthy lifestyle choices, physical and mental health, and general well-being throughout 2021-22. As I had mentioned, the focus of the activities is within the last year ago. The Wellness Committee has been focused on 6 dimensions of wellness that provided strategies and education to improve overall employee health. The college continued to focus on the importance of mental health in the workplace, offering numerous lunch and learns throughout the year. A new initiative this past year was to include healthy recipes for staff to enter into a contest and have since been shared on the intranet for all employees. This will continue to evolve as an annual event due to its popularity. Congratulations. The Corporation of the City of Windsor is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. This year, the City of Windsor Wellness Program successfully executed their Workplace 2021-2022 Wellness Plan. We're very proud of the continued success of our mental health awareness campaign. We joined the National Campaign of Mental Health Week, but at the corporation, we extend the campaign and proclaim the entire month of May as Mental Health Month. Each year, this campaign educates employees about various topics. A number of workshops and presentations are offered to allow staff at all levels of the organization to learn, talk, reflect, and engage with others on several issues relating to mental health. Topics this year included understanding substance use, mental health first aid, and mood and depression, just to name a few. Additionally, our employee and family assistance provider set up booths at various city sites to highlight the different services available beyond crisis care. Employees were encouraged to come to Charles Clark Square and participate in a 1 kilometer walk, roll along the riverfront to celebrate a downtown core partnership wellness event. The City of Windsor and St. Clair College took a stand for mental health in support of the CMHA's Soul Focus Project and National Mental Health Month. So a great deal of collaboration. Congratulations. The Windsor-Essex County Health Unit is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. In order to support positive mental health and stress management, we offered all employees 2 paid mental health days off for the 2022 year. These would allow for employees time to gather resources and support systems for staff who are struggling with their mental health in the workplace. In addition, several webinars were promoted to help focus the programming offered to staff. Congratulations. Windsor Regional Hospital is a recipient of the Platinum Level Award. A refreshed workplace wellness program was launched in May of 2022 and is committed to providing Windsor Regional Hospital staff, professional staff, and their families with a program of events and activities that will be available and accessible to all. It is a comprehensive program that addresses all aspects of wellness and health: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social. The Workplace Wellness Committee provides oversight for this program. The committee has 28 members and includes representation from several areas of the hospital, including professional staff. A wide range of events and activities are promoted across various platforms, including monthly calendars, intranet, the Pulse newsletter, posters, emails, and videos distributed to staff. In addition, members of the committee are available to present at departmental meetings. Representatives from our provider have also attended promotional events on site to meet and talk with staff, distribute flyers and postcards, and sign staff up for events. The calendars, monthly calendars, include events that are offered throughout the community as well, along with other events that are specific for Windsor Regional Hospital staff, or occurring both on and off. Congratulations. Okay, so that concludes the presentation of the awards for this year. As you can see, and as I noted, there seemed to be a great deal of collaboration. We're all partners. And so congratulations, of course, again, to all of the workplaces who are received awards this year. But we also want to take this opportunity to recognize other workplaces in the community in the Windsor-Essex area that many have worked just as diligently to ensure safe environments for their staff, employees, customers, as I said, everyone associated with the organization and the broader community. So as we emerge from the pandemic and navigate new and renewed challenges, we're all in this together. So we have to continue working together to ensure that health, safety, and mental well-being within our community continues to remain the utmost priority. As mentioned earlier, We have certificates for the recipients, as well as digital decals, which you have noted along the right side, that we will distribute to this year's recipients within a reasonable amount of time, a week or two. And the thought was the decals can be used in an email signature, shared on social media, websites, etc. Okay. I do want to conclude by saying thank you again to Laura for being with us today. That was rather inspirational, and yeah, left me wanting to hear some more. That was great. So just to reiterate, yes, a recording of this entire event presentation will be made available on our website. We'll send links out to recipients, those on our contacts, but it will be available for future viewing in the days to come. So on that note, and behalf of the Working Toward Wellness Committee, we would like to thank this year's award recipients, the entire local business community for their extraordinary efforts to put people and their staff first. Enjoy the rest of your day, the holidays to come. And thank you for your commitment to workplace wellness. Thank you, everyone.